And so you fuckers know each other? How do you guys know each other? Hey guys, this is a completely inappropriate podcast. I am Tony, along with my guest host, my other host, this useless sack of shit next to me. What's your name again?
Frank.
Hey Frank, how's it going?
It's going.
And today we've got a friend of mine, an amigo, and my very first yoga client. Did you know that?
Oh, no.
Yeah, Jordan is my very first yoga client. Jordan, how you doing, man?
Great.
Great. Well, that don't sound so enthusiastic to be behind a microphone, sir. So what do you think? What do you think we're here to talk about today? I kind of discussed it with you a little bit.
I think about growing up and
Yeah, so what I want to share with everybody is that Jordan seems to be on the autism spectrum, much like my son. Unfortunately, when we were growing up, especially here in the Valley, there wasn't a lot of knowledge towards these kind of issues that people are born with, that we grow up surrounded by, and we never knew a goddamn thing about it, did we, Jordan? In fact, has anybody ever told you, as far as a doctor or your parents, have they ever told you that you're on the spectrum or that you have ADD or anything like that?
yes, I got that plenty of times.
Yeah. Do people tell you that a lot, or is it something that you've come to tell people first, or do most people just kind of shut up and deal with it?
Well, in the past, most people used to comment a lot. Now, no one doesn't really care.
Yeah. So, how old were you, or what's the first memory you've got of somebody talking to you about it?
I think someone said you're not normal, and that was at the age of 7.
Yeah. Oh, they started saying you're not normal.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, I don't think anybody's very fucking normal at 7 years old. But yeah, it's, when we were growing up, we grew up together. You're actually a year older than me, even though you look half my age, because you just have better genes. You're gonna look young till the day you die. So you're gonna look 30 by the time you're 90. I congratulate you, sir.
Oh, I doubt that.
I believe it. Frank wishes he could look as good as you, man.
I mean, in my family, we are youthful
You
until
are.
we hit 50.
Oh, then it's just a dramatic drop off, huh?
Yeah.
Well, real quick, what we were saying right before we started recording, apparently you and Frank have actually met before, which is really weird to me. Frank doesn't seem to remember, you don't seem to remember, but you recognize each other's face, the smell?
That's
You guys like dogs?
Face.
Yeah. I'm just saying, are you guys like dogs? Did you sniff each other's assholes when you walked
No.
in and make sure you all recognize each other? What happened here?
It's by face. I recognize a lot of people by face.
You got anything?
Yeah, and I have a familiar face, but no, mentioning of government working on a project, I'm like, I do remember working on. There's 2 projects that, off the top of my head, I can remember. One of them was history. The other one, now I'm remembering English, but no, yeah, there was another one for government.
Oh, is that why you have trouble telling stories? Because you don't remember how to speak English?
No, because I don't remember. Like my memories are scattered sometimes. But
You mean English class? So you guys had classes together? Is that what you're getting at?
yeah, political science we've established.
I believe so. Either that or government, one of those.
Yeah, something to do with government is what we had.
So y'all are anti-taxation brothers? Y'all have
Not exactly.
the same liberal teacher to teach you? Is that a liberal?
No, our political science professor is actually conservative, and he was very proud of it. It's something he fucking
it was crazy.
yeah.
What's your memory of this class?
Not much, just writing an essay about something.
Well, shit, man. All right, well, getting back to you, now, since y'all basically have nothing to go on your memory of how you know each other, you just know that you know each other. So great. Happy to reunite you two lovebirds. Now, man, so you had to deal with guys like me growing up. I was always trying to be there for you and talk to you, but I didn't have any patience. I was a kid. I could barely listen to my sister talk to me all day, and then to have you were pretty hard to communicate with as a kid. I've noticed since I've met you again that you've come into control of your speech pattern. Can stay silent a lot longer and actually listen to what people are telling you. Did you notice that these were issues you were having? Is this something that you've worked on, or is it just something that is a part of your life that is just, naturally
Say
getting better?
it just happened naturally. I used to have a high vocabulary and then I lost it slowly.
Well, I'm not saying your vocabulary is excellent. My point is that you speak a lot better now. You not that you speak better, but you listen better.
Oh,
So was that just out of necessity? Because
I guess so.
Right,
I
yeah.
mean, I have to work with people in college.
yeah, that was amazing. I think Jordan's had more college course than I have. Possibly you too. Are you still going to school? What are you doing now?
I had to drop off one semester.
Is that because of the COVID stuff and everything? Switching to the
COVID
online?
stressed me out, switching to online, and I got a little sick from the stress. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I know that switching from an in-person class where you can zone in to the teacher in front of you, and then going from that to getting on the computer when you can just open up any tab and watch YouTube on the side or something. That's hard. That's hard for some people to focus on.
Oh, I don't really do that. I usually
Well,
focus on courses.
Well, what was your problem then? What was causing you stress with the homeschooling?
It's that not seeing the teacher in person and
Yeah.
constantly having to write. I hate typing.
Oh, typing is a problem for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever tried those typing of the Dead style video games? Have you seen this like the Night of the
Yeah.
Living Dead, but you have to type in the words that are
That was
written on
on
the zombies?
Dreamcast.
Yeah, those things were awesome. Well, yeah, the regular game was on Dreamcast, but you can get it on the computer where the zombies have words on them and you have to type the
Type it,
words
yeah.
and every letter you hit is they had that on Dreamcast too? Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. Cuz Dreamcast you could actually connect your keyboard to.
Yes.
That was like
and
the first one you could do that with.
basically,
Don't remember.
that game was released by Sega too.
Sega. Yeah, 100%. So, Frank, you got any questions, man? What's going on with you?
Oh no, I'm
You still
No.
trying to figure it out? What?
no. Like the only thing I remember from fucking political science is all the fucking babes were in the fucking political science, especially that one fucking class. Yeah. Other than that, I'm like, so what are we talking about? You know?
We're talking about Jordan, man. We're talking about Jordan and people like Jordan. Not even people like Jordan, just you, Jordan. I want to know more about you because, like I said, we kind of grew up together. We used to go skateboarding not all the time, but every once in a while we'd end up going skateboarding. Or I'd be rollerblading and you'd be skateboarding. I was never very good at that. This kid's got better abs than I'll ever have, just from the amount of squatting down and trying to grab that skateboard that he does, man. But so, look, man, I want to ask you, how does your family treat you? Did you notice a shift in them as time went on, or?
Pretty much, but everyone kind of got used to things and learned things.
Learn how to work with each other and everything?
Yeah.
Yeah, so as far as feeling, have you ever felt like you were very different, or is it,
More
has it,
like I felt like I didn't belong.
how so? What do you mean?
Like that I wasn't meant for this area.
Now, you mean this particular
Yeah.
geographical area?
Yeah.
You mean like the Rio Grande Valley?
Yes, I mean like the Rio Grande
So where
Valley.
do you think that you were meant to be?
I was originally from Austin. I feel like at home there sometimes.
Yeah, is it just because it's a busier city? You kind of get lost in the people there instead of, kind of being more singled out in a small town here?
Think it's more like there's more to do and there's more music sometimes.
Yeah, what kind of music do you like nowadays?
I like pretty much everything.
This Jordan used to have the best CDs, dude. I think he lent me a couple, and I don't think I ever gave them back.
Really? I don't remember that.
I do. I think it was one CD had like the Spin Doctors and the Two Princes.
Oh, I have that CD
And
still.
Bare Naked Ladies was on there. Yeah, I bet you do. It was probably you would always bring it in the car whenever we got in together, and then One day you lent it to me, and I think I had it for easily a year
Oh.
before you asked for it back, and luckily I still had it. That's what I remember about that anyway.
I still have that. That was like a present from my mom during her wedding.
Hey man, so now I gotta ask you, what was with you always fighting in school? And
People would always pick fights on me. They would say I'm too white and punch me around, so.
you think because you did they actually say because you were too white, or do you just
No, they would
feel that
say
way?
it.
That's weird.
But we grew up in a different time. I mean,
Sure. Now Jordan has this thing in his head where he believes that it was just really racist down here towards him because he was of lighter complexion. And your mom is white, right?
Yeah.
You have very very white sisters, or blonde haired, blue eyes. You yourself are very white, but you do have dark hair, beautiful Mexican goatee going on. So I don't understand how people can get you confused. You're Hispanic just like any of us. Look at you.
yeah.
With your pierced ear. How long have you? I didn't even know you had a pierced ear. When did you pierce your ear?
It was when my stepsisters moved back in.
When was that? How old were you?
I was like maybe 18, 19.
Oh, that's crazy. So we probably got it done at the same time. It's just weird to learn all of this about somebody that I grew up with and we never really spoke. So, what are your what are you doing as far as I don't know, what are you trying to go to school for? I know you're taking a break right now, but what were you going for?
Well, at first I was going for biology, and the school promised me they'd transfer credits over. They didn't do it.
Okay.
And since they didn't do it, I had to switch over to anthropology.
Anthropology, what is that?
It's the,
The study of
People.
people,
People.
basically, right? Yeah. Not sociology.
well, it's kind of like
It's
sociology.
a study of like historical people, right?
Mhm.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Had to talk that one out in my own head too, yeah.
I mean, it does have a bit of sociology, but if you want one with more of type of anthropology with more sociology, you would have to go to Britain,
Right.
and they teach more structure based. Like, how is the government built? Why is the government this way? And how do the people act together correlate to the government?
Right on. Well, I'm happy you brought that up. I really am, because as you two know, we now have our next president. And I'll let Frank say it. Frank, who's our president now?
Oh, some asshole.
Well, yeah,
some
what else
some
is there?
asshole
Nothing new
named
there.
named Joseph R. Biden Jr.
Yeah.
Why is it hard? Like middle name.
Now, I'm curious, how do you guys feel about this?
I think he's a dick. But he's better than Trump.
Is he? Well, why is he a dick, and why is he better than Trump?
Well, it's more just a feeling because he dismissed a whole bunch of people just because he
Trump.
didn't want the left. No, Biden
Oh, you're talking about Biden dismissing a whole bunch of people because he didn't want the left to do what?
to win.
He is the left.
No, he's the center.
Biden?
Yeah.
He's a Democrat. I don't know.
There's so many philosophical differences.
Yeah, 100%. Too many little nuanced things that are supposed to. How do you agree with that, Frank?
Well, yeah, because the other candidates like Bernie Sanders were, especially AOC mostly, but yeah, a lot of they're far left, and Biden is more of a centralist. But then again, Biden has dementia. How is that gonna work out? If countries are making fun of us for having a fat millionaire, they're gonna make fun of us for having a dementia patient in charge
No,
of them.
that's a fair point, but at the same token, how often have we seen in the past where the president really wasn't? He was the figurehead, but he really wasn't the one pulling the strings, like with Bush and Cheney, or really any other vice president. Typically, they've got a lot more power than we presume, before they get into office, and then all of a sudden we realize that, well, the president's doing all these meetings, but who's the one actually meeting up with the people he's making agreements with? It's usually the vice president. So I'm anticipating Kamala Harris doing all the grunt work. But in that case, how do you feel about Kamala Harris
I don't really like her. She also dismissed the left too.
Yeah, she's dismissed the shit out of the left. I mean, her track record just putting people away is ridiculous, and forcing them to stay in jail when they should. I keep harping back to that same account where she put somebody in jail, and the guy had someone get the DNA evidence for him that exonerated him, that proved that he wasn't the one who murdered the person he went to jail for, and and Kamala Harris said, no, you have to stay. He was already out for 7 months. And like, I know you're free. I know you're out. And I know you didn't do it. But that person wasn't supposed to get the DNA evidence for you. You were supposed to get it yourself. So get back in jail.
For like a year and a half.
Yeah.
And
oh, you know the story too.
yes.
Yeah, the dude did like 17 years in prison before the DNA evidence was even available.
Wow.
Yeah, it wasn't a small chunk of his life. So it's a hard one. Now, I do. What about you, Frank? What do you think of Kamala?
I think Kamala Harris is the Trojan horse. You got somebody who's gonna be the puppet because he's got a fucking dementia. So
Well, then Biden would be the Trojan horse. She would be the Romans inside of it.
well, yes, that's what they mean by saying that this is the Trojan horse,
Well, she's entering on a Trojan horse. She's not the Trojan horse.
right?
Well,
but
there's
the
a
saying
difference in the
is,
statement.
yes,
You're
you
misstating
technical.
it.
No. I know you're fucking technical about everything.
Come on,
but
it's
I'm
just
saying,
accurate. It's
that's
not being technical. It's being accurate.
No.
There's a difference.
okay.
Being technical would be me telling you, no, the Trojan horse would be the wood that it's constructed out of with the nails and the hinges and all that shit. That's technical.
Right.
Also accurate,
You're right.
but annoyingly technical.
Right. But that's how it's referred to as
All right,
the one
so
that's gonna.
Kamala's a Trojan horse. And
Yeah.
point being,
Point
what's she
being,
gonna do? What's she gonna?
She's gonna take over as president. So you got the first female vice president.
Right. Well, we're
then-
expecting that obviously because everybody's expecting Biden to keel over in the next, half a year. Who
Yeah.
knows? 6 months to 2 years. Maybe he makes it through the first term. He won't make a second.
Nope.
No one will vote for him for a second. Just watching his health deteriorate further on screen. How did Trump get away with fucking injecting every goddamn steroid? I mean, he's got to be on every vitamin drip, every packet of Sudafed he can get, or what was it? The amphetamine, cold cough medicine that he was taking,
I don't remember something.
along with those diet pills, right?
yeah, something chloride, something. I don't know.
Yeah, why can't they just fucking pump Biden full of the same shit? Obviously, the cocktail exists out there. Just give Biden a fucking a giant horse-sized syringe of dick. Yeah, like Frank wants to give him. You want to give Biden your big horse cock? All right, cool. Did you get that off eBay? Because we know that didn't come stock.
Oh, I thought you were talking about my personal dick, not something you
I-
got me for Christmas.
Oh well, that was Valentine's Day. Don't get it twisted. Christmas is for the family. Valentine's Day is for the lovers.
Damn.
All right, so okay, now we got to talk a little bit about Biden's wife. Do you know anything about her? Have you looked into that at all?
She's
Either
the
of you?
one pulling the strings in the background, of course.
You think so? Is she gonna be the real one that has the power? Is she gonna say "fuck you"? What's her name? Not Tulsi Gabbard. It's the vice president now. What's her fucking name? Say it.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala, thank you. We were just talking about it.
I remember Biden's wife.
No. Oh, I don't know. Mrs. Biden, of course.
Yeah.
Women lose their first name after marriage. They're just subsequently called by their husband's last name.
Yep.
Biden's wife is named Jill Biden. I feel like they could have tried harder. Joe and Jill, were they just bred for the fucking politics?
I think so. I mean, there's some people raised into it.
So-
I think they call them the blue bloods.
So she is a professor. She is a Dr. Jill Biden. So better put some respect on the fucking name, yo. And now she I actually do have a lot of hopes for. She's got a really good on paper. She's pretty badass. Not to mention she's fucking gorgeous. I mean, that is probably one of the better looking first ladies we've had probably ever.
Better than Nancy Reagan.
Oh, no shit. Better than Michelle Obama. I know everybody thought Michelle Obama was so, like, because she had a athletic body, but that face, come on now. That's a face only a mama could love. That was,
Oh my
Miss
gosh.
Obama, with respect, I love Miss Obama. I love me some Miss Obama. I got no problems with her.
I think
you know.
she's beautiful.
Okay, Jordan. Well, we know your type now. Welcome to the jungle. We got games. Woo. All right, so she's been an educator for decades, longtime professor at Northern Virginia Community College. She taught at a bunch of public schools in Delaware, including Technical College in Delaware, Delaware Technical Community College. What else has she done? I mean, that alone puts her in good standings with me. You know how much I appreciate the fucking education, so the people that work in the education system anyway. It's always an uphill struggle there. So I think if we're going to have any saving grace for those of you who are a little unsure about Biden being the president, remember he is backed by a very strong, beautiful, if I may add, not to subjugate her to her looks alone, but she is a strong, independent woman who might be able to push him into doing, something. I don't know. What can you ever say about a new president, man?
Trying to think what to say about this one other than the obvious, the whole dementia, the fucking...
Right, well, let that go. I mean, he's going to have a support system, just like Trump did. Everybody's like, well, what are we going to do with Trump? He's not going to be able to get anything done with the way he communicates. He's not going to communicate correctly with people. Like, yeah, but he wasn't just communicating with people himself. He was delegating people to communicate on his behalf. And like it or not, those people that delegated on his behalf did the best job that they could and really fucking supported him. He got rid of any dissenters that just straight up didn't agree with Trump, didn't agree with him. And he made sure that the only people that were speaking on his behalf only said positive things about him. And that's pretty much what any manager would do in a fucking workplace setting. If you send somebody to delegate for you, a floor manager to take over for you, you better fucking have your ducks in a row and know that they know exactly how you like things. So I think Biden has every opportunity to fucking act the same way. You know what I mean? Just maybe he's a little more polite about it. What's the worst that could happen?
Well, I was thinking about this, the logic behind, some of these people, they're saying that, some people have said that Trump couldn't be president because he said, grab her by the kitty cat. And so I'm saying...
You mean the pussy, Frank.
Okay.
This is a completely inappropriate podcast. You could say the word pussy.
Yeah, but I don't
Do you
like
understand?
it. Yeah, but I don't like it.
Vagina.
Yeah, vagina, okay. But anyways, so...
Or if you were born male but identify as a female, you're vagina.
Uh-huh. So anyways...
Is it still a pussy?
Sure.
Are we getting into that conversation right now?
What? Well, I'm trying to.
Trans. Never mind, continue.
Okay. So, yeah, so then if Trump shouldn't be president because he said that, then Biden shouldn't be president because he said, I don't want my kids growing up in a race jungle. He said, what was the other one? Well, the latest one was...
Wait, what does that mean? Hold on, I don't want my kids growing up in a race jungle. What exactly does that mean?
Yeah, it was about... It was this thing going on about civil rights, black people. There was black issues, and Biden said, "I don't want my kids growing up in a race jungle."
So what did he want? Segregation again? Is that the idea?
Yeah.
Mind you, this
When
was
was-
a time of segregation also.
Oh, of course. Yeah, this is, you very well said. It is definitely a time of segregation. It's self-imposed segregation, which is even worse. Because we're not even telling people that they need to be separated. They are choosing to be fucking separated. Every fucking race. You know, except for the Mexicans, we hang out with everybody. We just fucking love a good goddamn time. And if we can watch two people throw chingazos at each other, just start fighting each other, then we're going to have a good time at that pachanga.
Oh yes, I remember when I used to have people kick me and I'd throw them on the floor.
Why are you so violent? So okay, I want to get back to you fighting. Because there was this one kid who was smaller than you. We talked about it at your place the other day. What was his name? Just his first name. Just his first.
Fernando.
Yeah, there you go. Good catch. All right, so you and Fernie, he was a little dude too, in stature, but he was smaller than you. He had just some physical disabilities that he was born with. It wasn't necessarily like he had scoliosis real bad in the spine and stuff like that. He was a nice guy as far as I knew, but it seemed like he always had a bit of a grudge against you. But you say that it wasn't real.
It was more like people said we were copying each other and trying to force us to really fight, but then we turned it into a game to entertain the masses.
You just made it a show for them.
Yeah.
Man, you've seen that on I've seen that on like coming of age story kind of TV shows and shit where the two kind of weaker guys are pitted against each other and you're like, hey man, just pretend like I hit you there. All right, go. You know, end up working together with somebody that they're trying to pitch you against. That's kind of cool, man. That's a cool memory to have. Because everybody that wanted to fight me actually wanted to fight me. They sucked. People suck.
Well, with me is the people I fought always threw the first punch.
Of course.
I just always tossed them to the ground. Before growing up in grade school, I was the one throwing the first punch.
You're just a badass, man. I'm happy you're not as violent anymore, though.
I think it's just it was the environment. Everyone was just violent.
Sure, yeah, man. There was a lot of in our school growing up together, especially like before junior high, everything leading up to like 5th and 6th grade. Like everybody's aunt and uncle was a Latin king or what are they called? The 13. MS13, but trechas, right?
I was gonna call it tres leches, my fat ass.
I was gonna call it trechas or something. I don't know what the hell I was saying, but they weren't even around back then when we were kids. At least not in this area. No, it was all blood and Crips because everybody wanted to be like Biggie and Tupac.
And then there
I was
was
in that.
gang.
There was no Asian gang.
The one with the
not here though.
Pitchfork. No, they were here too.
They're not here. That wasn't an Asian gang here. The Pitchfork. You mean Hell's Kitchen? That's on TV.
No. There's
The
people that would make the pitchfork thing.
I do remember that. Yeah, it was like exactly like a pitchfork. You say that was an Asian gang?
Yeah.
Here in the
That's
valley,
crazy,
Hidalgo
though.
County. There's got to be like 2 Asian families in the entire Rio Grande Valley.
I
How would they be
know.
able to? I mean,
That's strange.
not including Filipino. I guess we've talked about it. We have a large Filipino.
We had a
Yeah.
Filipino
Yeah, but they're
population.
Pacific Islanders, not Asians.
Right, exactly. So I didn't get it wrong. Good. Thank you for covering my ass there. So I want. So getting back to the election. So what do you think? Do you think there are any conspiracies about this thing? Do you think Biden won legally? Do you think there was any voter fraud this year? Any more than usual? First of all, and then is there any mass conspiracies that you guys are either entertaining in your head or fully buy into?
Yeah, that's one thing I'm trying to wrap my head around. Like, how come the last election there was interference by a foreign country, but some crazy how this election there's no possible way that it could have been messed with, like cherry picking your fucking scandals. But what happened? No, yeah, it was blatantly obvious. At least I think it's blatantly obvious that this election was it was rigged. It was stolen from Trump, because there was that example of Virginia. It was at 2% votes, and and Trump was winning by a good margin, and they called it for Biden. And then in the end, Virginia ended up going to Biden. So, and there was this other thing, that some of these states, there was a bug in the system, right? And then they fixed it, and when they fixed it, the majority votes went to Biden. And like the one that happened in Michigan, it was 138,000 votes were just so happened to be found, and they all went to Biden. I'm like, come on, nothing is ever 100%. At least one of those had to go to fucking Trump. And then also recently, that in Georgia, I think it was, that they found a lot of ballots thrown away, and they were all military ballots.
Do we believe it? Do you believe it? Do you think? I mean, is there any possible way that they're just knockoff ballots that people are just trying to start conspiracies? What if? Is there evidence that it actually happened, or is this still just Instagram fucking fodder?
Well, there were videos circulating on Twitter that got knocked down.
Sure. I saw a video of Rogan looking like a kind of a sexy woman.
Okay.
So, are we going to believe it because we saw a video, or are we going to wait till we have people in prison for these things?
Okay, well, this wasn't a deep fake. Like, I'm telling you, if I could show you the
No,
videos...
I'm not saying it's a deep fake where, like, it's a false video, but how do we know that it was from this year? How do we know that it's not a... Like I said, that they weren't fake ballots to begin with? Like, is anybody being prosecuted for all these election tamperings?
Well, that's why in my retweets I put, please tell me I'm wrong, please explain this to me, but, because, I want to give them the benefit of the doubt, but Trump already filed lawsuits against these swing states. But yeah, some of these videos, it was of people marking ballots as accepted and then filling them out. And there was this one kid that was throwing away ballots. And there was also this one tweet about this guy saying, hey, check out fucking this guy. Type in this name, this year. It's a guy that's 118 years old. See if he voted this year. And it checked out. It said that the ballot was sent out, it was received, and yeah, a 118-year-old man voted.
And you don't believe that can happen? I mean, they're write-in votes. It's not like you're not allowed to vote because you have dementia. Isn't that fucked up too? Like, there is no, like, okay, so what if you have the intelligence of a third grader at, 90 years old? Your vote counts. Congratulations. So why do you think that a 118-year-old can't do it? Is it now, if this guy's registered as, well, he's deceased and his vote went through, then I've got a problem with it. Yeah. But how can you have a problem with someone just being old and having their vote counted?
The guy was dead. Like the
You didn't say that!
Like that.
Talk about fucking burying the lead, asshole. Oh my god, 118-year-old voted. Okay. Whoop-de fucking do.
Well, when's our life expectancy? 85.
Does it? But there are 118-year-olds, Frank.
Yeah, but they're hard to come by. They're
200-year-olds
They
too.
do exist and they vote, believe it or not.
Yeah, well, this guy's been deceased, and it wouldn't be the first time that the dead have vote, because this was back when the first time this happened was...
Oh yeah, they do that all the time. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
That
Yeah.
happens in both parties. I mean, there's like this 90-year-old deceased guy who got appointed to be, what's it called? A judge in Georgia. But
yeah, there was some place this year, like in Kentucky or Arkansas or
I think
somewhere.
it was Georgia.
Where there was a dog that was...
what?
Yeah, they elected a dog as mayor, I think, of their city. I need to
Holy
look that one up.
crap.
Yeah. But what do you think, Jordan? You think there's any conspiracies going on with the election, with everything that's been talked about? Everybody, Trump says that all those mail-in ballots are bullshit. Actually, no, that's a misconception, right? From what I understood, the only thing that Trump was trying to stop was the ballots that were being taken in after the cutoff time.
Yeah.
Correct.
Which would normally be fine, but with the influx of voters this year, how can you stop counting just because... we saw it ourselves. There was in a county here in the valley, there was a city worker who hadn't delivered, or what was it? They hadn't input all the vote-in ballots, or the registered, right? The people that had registered to vote, the guy who worked for the city didn't mail them out in time. Thank you. I was hoping you would pick this up. I have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about, Frank. Could you tell me? You're the one who told me in the first
Wasn't
place.
that in Starr County?
No, I thought you were referring...
Yeah, was it Starr County?
Probably, but it was also in Hidalgo County. No, I thought you were referring to a different case, and I'm like, this sounds similar.
It was the same case. Yeah, I need your help. Explain it. Yeah, Jesus, that was the worst 5 seconds of my recording history. Go ahead.
So, anyways, these registrations had to be, they were due on or before October 5th. And so then these responsible citizens sent out their registration and everything, and the county didn't send them out until the 7th, and that borders on voter suppression, because fucking these people could be voting for somebody you don't want to vote, and you're like, well, fuck their vote. And but over at voter protection, they were trying to clear it out. They're like, well, this sounds like a misunderstanding. I'm like, well, I hope it is, just as long as these people get to vote today. And yeah, those people did end up fucking voting, so I'm glad that got cleared up.
But did their votes count? Do you believe that all the votes counted?
I would like to believe in a fair election, so yes, I'd like to believe that their votes were counted.
That's very optimistic of you. I appreciate that sentiment.
I have a pessimistic view. I think only like half the votes were counted throughout Texas.
Why is that?
It's just we have voter suppression from both parties. And
How so? What's the voter suppression that you witnessed, or that you heard of, at least?
basically, it's ballots getting mailed in very late, or
The same thing we were talking about?
yeah,
Now,
it
what-
happened all over the state.
What do you guys think? Do you think there was an intimidation factor? I heard that there were several polling stations where there was armed police guards at the polling stations, which makes sense to me. If you have a hostile community that's already up in arms, they have these angry protests on the street every other weekend, then yeah, of course you're gonna add some protection to those polling places in case someone decides that, nope, we don't want these votes counting, we're gonna burn it down. Like, you gotta have some sort of protection in those crazy moments. But
I was gonna say that's the only time the cops done something good.
right. Oh, damn. Damn. Shady acres over here, man. You are casting all the shade. Well, shit. We're almost at the end of the line here. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about as far as the election goes? Do you guys have any other conspiracies? Is anything you're thinking
I
of?
can have some from the primaries.
From the well, this is a primary, isn't it?
No.
This is like the actual
Election.
What's a primary?
primary. Primaries are like a benchmark of voting. It's like, okay, if the vote was today, how would it end?
Who the hell actually does those things except for like people in their like retirement years with nothing else to do during the fucking day? Have you ever done one of those primary electoral elections? You ever read the
Yeah, because that's how how the parties determine their elected candidate.
No, I'm good. And on that note, everybody, this has been the Completely Inappropriate Podcast. I am Tony, along with
Frank.
And remember, you can find us at completelyinappropriatepodcast at gmail.com. You can find us at CI Podcast on Instagram, at completelyinap on Twitter with 1P. And don't forget to find us on BitChute, YouTube, anywhere you find us, you found us, as Frank likes to say. Don't forget to leave us a 5-star review, because all the other stars don't count, don't work. Just trust us. We don't lie to you. Maybe we fib a little. But that's okay. Jordan, is there any last things you want to say to the people out there in podcast land?
Get with your networks and protest Biden.
Whoa! What the hard statement there at the end, coming in clutch. Now you know Jordan's political leanings. Much love to you guys. Thanks, Jordan, for fucking giving me some of your time, man. This was a lot of fun. I appreciate
You're
getting to know you
welcome.
better. Frank, what do we tell the beautiful people?
Be excellent to each other.
But only the beautiful people. The ugly people can fuck off. But I suppose, beautiful or ugly, we can all try and find our happiness today, people, and try and be better today than you were yesterday. Auf Wiedersehen, au revoir, sayonara, goodbye, and Biden is our president. Woohoo! I guess. Say bye, Frank.
Bye, Frank.
Brr.